All right, looks like we are live. Thank you for joining me, everybody. It is Road to Recovery, and it is October. October 2nd. It is the perfect time, if you have not started already, to get on that road to recovery yourself. Brand new month, man. Can't ask for anything better. It's a beautiful fall. It's actually, for me, the month of October is special because it's my recovery month. It's the time where I took on the challenge of getting into recovery space and to be a better version of myself. And speaking of better versions of ourselves, what you'll see over here is a representation of the three circles, which are used in many recovery programs. Specifically, this example is for SAA. So this might be something that you would see inside of a person who is struggling with their own porn and or sex addiction. And what we three circles represent, as a quick recap, is that the inner circle is the activities we're trying to avoid. The middle circle are all the things we have to really pay attention to because they could potentially be triggering, so we have to know how to work and navigate in that space. And then there's the outer circle stuff, which are the things that are okay, the things that we should be doing. Typically, when we talk about the recovery process inside of the 12-step spaces, we spend so much time focusing on the middle circle and the inner circle, but we really don't talk that much about the things we should be doing, right? The outer circle stuff. Because we know those things are okay. We don't have to think about any special rules of engagement. We don't have to concentrate on, whether these activities are in and of themselves going to be damaging to us, because typically we've already labeled them as good, so we kind of throw them over the shoulder. But I've recently had some interactions where I kind of wanted to go over this as a general subject matter to kind of bring some attention back to the outer circle. Inner circle stuff, right, we're focusing on the heart of the addiction, but when we're looking at the outer circle stuff, what are we actually saying here? What is this space? In my opinion, if we talk about other models inside of addiction space, one of the things that we often talk about is ourselves, our better selves, right? So a visualization utility that we often go through is trying to visualize what the perfect you looks like. What does that person look like when they're outside of recovery? This person who has achieved the epitome of all recovery philosophy and goals, which is to become a recovered person, a stronger individual, a person who is able to withstand the slings and arrows of the addictive space. That perfect person usually has a lot of strength and moral character. And to get there, they had to engage in doing lots of things, not just the recovery, but lots of other areas of their life have to be fulfilled. And a common problem that happens for many addicts is that we spend so much time looking at the inner and middle circles and trying to focus on the things we shouldn't do and not focus enough time on the things we should be doing. And oftentimes, when even on my channel, when you hear me talking, I'm talking about, doing hobbies and exercise and journaling and, all the things like going to meetings, calling a sponsor, things that you see it in this outer circle. But in reality, there's a lot more things that should be in this outer circle, things that constitute the very character of your being. I don't know if you're an artist. I don't know if you're an athlete. I don't know if you have desires and wishes and goals inside of your life. But if you do have desires, wishes, and goals, right? Those things should be represented inside of this outer circle. So perhaps you actually have a list of things that you've been wanting to achieve that you haven't gotten to yet. Well, I guarantee you your addiction was holding you back. Why? Because it's the common thing inside of recovery rooms that we see that isolation is a part of the addiction. It just is. It just is. We tend to isolate when we act out. And as a result of that, our isolation, we get used to the sense of isolation. Like we don't want to, we want our private time. And even when you are getting into recovery, when you've put yourself in a space where you're no longer going to act out and you set out to do these things, that you still find yourself isolated. Why is that? Because you're used to it. You have conditioned yourself to being in isolated places and you feel comfortable there even when you're not acting out. And so goes the problem, right? That in our isolation, we have stopped growing as a person. One thing to think about as you start looking at your outer circle is we've listed things that we're actively doing that we want to engage in that are healthy for ourselves. But also, you should really start making a tangible list of goals inside of your life that you want to achieve and start making them outer circle behaviors, which means that you're now going to be setting a goal for yourself for building up a better you, making sure that you're fleshing out this person that is going to be striving and succeeding for success in their life, which is going to lift them up, make you a stronger individual. And by the sheer act of engaging in those behaviors, I don't care if you're like out bike riding or reading a book on a park bench, whatever those things happen to be, right? You're breaking away from your isolation, so you're going to get yourself out of that room that you would normally engage in your behaviors in, or even that building, whether it's your home or your apartment, whatever. Get out of that location. Go do things. If you've been meaning to go read a book, go get that book, right? I don't care if you read it at the library or Starbucks or wherever. Go engage in those activities that are outside of the area you would normally act out in. Get yourself out in it's a beautiful fall day today. Go outside. Go to the local library. Go to that Starbucks. Go someplace where you're either around other people or you're just in general outdoors, but not in the area that you were acting out in. And that's just one of many examples, right? What are some other things you could be doing if you're, working on education, for example? If you plan on getting your degree, well, now's a good time to start. Get out there and start looking at your credit hours that you should be engaging in. If you're looking to somehow get a promotion inside of your job, today sounds like a perfect day to go talk to your boss. Do all of these things that are going to help build you up. And now, I know this sounds very rudimentary, but this is the sort of thing you need to focus on, because focusing on the things you shouldn't be doing all the time, what does that happen? What happens when you do that all the time? I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. Look, my knuckles are turning white, right? You're white knuckling. You're focusing so hard on the things you shouldn't do. What's going to happen, man? Your willpower at some point is going to break. You're going to fail. The dam's going to crack open. And what's going to happen? You're not going to succeed in your recovery space. By filling out those outer circle behaviors, by actually engaging in things that are going to help sustain you and make you a better person, you've not only got your focus on the long term, on trying to get to be the better person, the goal, right? The goal of being that better person, a better version of yourself. You're not only sustaining that focus into the future and working at attaining for being a better person, but you're also stopping the white knuckle process. It's beautiful if you can make it happen. And I would suggest, as you start looking at these outer circle behaviors, we talk a lot on this channel about, habit replacement and what you should be doing, but also keep that long-term and focus out there, right? And this is just life goals, man. Build the better you. Focus on the things that you should be doing. Engage in the positive and not the negative. What I shouldn't be doing, as opposed to what should I be doing, right? Keeping that positive mindset about it, making the affirmative as opposed to the negative. If you keep doing those things, keep focusing on the affirmative, you're going to find a lot of success in your recovery. I thank you for listening this morning. I am Road to Recovery. I don't make any money on this channel. Nothing's monetized here. This is my 12th step. I am giving back to you, the audience. I consider this part of working a program. At some point in your recovery, if you become more fulfilled and sustained, maybe you can pass it along and help somebody else out as well. Like, share, and subscribe if you please. Let's just keep it rolling so this helps reach out to other porn addicts who are also struggling in this space. Take care of yourself and have a happy and healthy October. Take care.